Hi, good afternoon. My name's Joanna Hunter. I'm founder and owner of Piglets Pantry, and I'm joined today with Elliott Moore, ex-general manager for catering at the Brighton and Hove Albion Stadium. We're taking a walk down memory lane to when we first met.
Yep.
So I think 15th year. Can you believe that?
Mad. Absolutely mad.
So 15 years ago, you got an email or a contact from Richard to say you need to meet this batty woman Jo from Piglets Pantry. What was your first impressions and thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously down at Withdean in the project office there, which sort of was doubled up as a nursery at the weekends, and then was a boardroom for the football club on weekends. And part of the brief was that we have to find local suppliers and businesses to put in products into the stadium for all the food and beverage. Richard said that he'd met you at, I think you were buying a ton of season tickets for your boys and your family and stuff. And you'd mentioned that you make pies out of a little sort of deli down in Shoreham. And I was like, okay, interesting. We've spoken to some other local guys, but their quality and our sort of confidence in them being able to do it wasn't up there. So said to Richard, get Jo to come down and bring down some samples, and in you came. Wasn't a pink box in those days. I think it was a little white box, and there was your pies in there. And I think first impressions were of clearly a family person, family business, and that just appealed to us as a football club and as the company that I was working for at the time. That was just a real big tick in our box. So those were the sort of first impressions, and then we opened the box, and there they were, the famous hand crimped pies.
I'm surprised it broke you into those primping in those early days.
No.
So you eventually, we went through quite a few rounds, didn't we, of testing and tasting. I seemed to be running up and down every 5 minutes to Withdean at the time.
We were quite picky, weren't we?
You were.
We were quite picky. But we had them. I think we had a little kitchen out the back, from memory, up down at Withdean, where they used to do all the boardroom food, and we were heating pies up. We were very popular. People were coming in all over the place. When Tony used to come in and see Martin and the execs down there, he always used to ask, "You testing Piglets pies today?" And again, it was just little tweaks, nothing major, but I think the quality of the products was beyond anything on the market that we'd seen or I'd seen in up until that point. And it was a no-brainer, really. It was just how are we going to do it?
Yes. So then we had the kind of midnight hour thinking, I did, and said to you, well, let's come and make them at the stadium. And so on paper and principle, it was a good idea. 2,500 would have been fine.
I think, I mean, the 2,500 number is interesting because I was using numbers from Arsenal, where I was previously coming down to Brighton. And on a good game, we'd sell 2,500, 3,000 pies. And that stadium was a 40,000 seater Premier League, Arsenal Football Club. So I was thinking, I think at the time the Brighton Stadium was 20,000. They hadn't done that east upper or put the corners in, and I was thinking, 2,500 would be enough. And we thought it'd be a good story, didn't we? That it would make it all made at the stadium.
We could leverage the cost.
The cost, and I think our chef took a bit of persuading at the time, but he let you to start with use his kitchen, and it was a steep learning curve after that first game, that's for sure.
And then the PR train got into action, and we just had to get swept along with it, really. But from an operational point of view, I remember pies being everywhere, and all the fridges and in the blast chiller was sort of like obviously overutilised because the team couldn't do their work. So I remember it being a little bit bonkers, really. And then I think we finished him off nearly, bless him, in the end. He had a meltdown, didn't he?
He wasn't. He was a fine dining chef, and pies, although very important, he just couldn't get his head around how to make that en masse. I mean, we went from 2,500. They were selling out like within, I think, the first game. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. They'd gone. Then the next game, okay, let's try 5,000. By half time, gone. And I think we were peaking, weren't we, at about 10 to 12,000. We just couldn't.
11,500 was a maximum we ever got out of that stadium.
You were doing night shifts and hand crimping, and But yeah, I think the PR machine swung into, I think the fans just bought into that story, didn't they? And yeah, it was just, and the quality, because we could have done all that work and talked about local, but if the quality wasn't there and the story behind it, I think we would have looked very, very silly. But I think the quality of the product, as always, has stood the test of time, and that's really I think the bedrock of Piglets. Not only the backstory, your story, but the quality of everything you do. That means that you can deliver on what you promise, and I think that helped, and the fans have bought into it massively.
They did, and then you moved on, and you moved on to the Oval, and we moved on from our first little 1,100 square foot to the next space, which was about 7,500 square foot, and we started to diversify with sausage rolls and pastries, and obviously more of the patisserie side of things. And so the Oval was a completely different story, wasn't it, really? Yeah,
I mean, the Oval, going from football fans to cricket and different, more discerning sort of customer, all day eating, especially at a test match where they're having breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea. And the chief executive at the time, Richard, he wasn't happy with what they were serving on the sort of pastry side. And certainly the afternoon tea was letting everyone down. And I said, I've just got the lady for that. And I remember coming down to your old premises, and you, I think a new product you were trialling out was lollipops dipped in chocolate. And I think I brought my chef down at the time and my hospitality team, and we all got very excited because we were dipping chocolate into the machine and getting absolutely caked in the stuff. And we said to you, we need to talk to you about, can you produce us the full afternoon tea range for, I mean, we were doing 8,000 to 9,000 covers a day for 5 days for test matches up there. And somehow you rose to the challenge, and along with all your stadiums that you had at that time, you managed to pull out and do high quality afternoon teas, and a few little challenges on the way. But again, I think testament to your business and your tenacity and the culture you have in your business. Any sort of curveballs or anything that's been thrown your way, certainly from us as caterers, we want the world, don't we? And we want it to be the best. We want to be the only ones that are selling it.
The only people in the world.
Yeah, no one would know the stuff that goes on in the background like the customers, and that's really important. And we've had some interesting phone calls and stuff, but the main thing is, at the end of the day, that customer has had real top quality products. And that's I think another real key is the confidence that people have in your ability to deliver real random stuff. And I think coming to you and saying, can you do afternoon tea for what that week would have been, 40,000 afternoon teas, and then we want them packed in bento boxes, and we want you to wash up bento boxes, and big learning curve. But again, we were setting a trend there, and I think other cricket stadiums were seeing that, Lords, Edgbaston, places like that, and they wanted what you did. So trendsetters in the cricket world.
And still, sort of 15 years later, we're still in touch, become firm friends, I think.
Absolutely, along
the way. And I think your last sort of work at the Olympic Park was probably some of the most interesting kind of diverse things we've actually got involved in, especially with the baseball. I think that was quite a good gig, really. So
I mean, that stadium, multi-purpose venue that has its own challenges. Obviously, West Ham are the main tenants there, and couldn't quite get you in as a pie supplier there, but I think that's a story for another day. But in terms of the specialist stuff, as a go-to company, we had first ever Major League Baseball game outside of the US on UK soil, which we hosted in 2019, I think the first time we spoke about it. And that event's all about, Instagrammable food, and we sat down with you and said, what can you help us with? And came up with what are they, 3 foot long
it was long,
sausages that went in a hot dog product that we called a boomstick. I think each one, we had them checked, and they're about 15,000 calories. And but again, not necessarily a product that we would traditionally go to a bakery company with, but can you help us out with this? And again, pulled it out the bag, and yeah, I think we ended up selling 5, 6, 7,000 of these things, and they were a hit on Instagram, 4 or 5 million hits on social media. So yeah, again, diversity and being able to deliver it at quality and short notice. I think we probably only gave you, as usual, like a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, gave you a brief and say we want the biggest sausage in the UK. Yeah, and again, pulled it out of the bag, as always.
Had some fun along the way.
We have had some fun, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's been fantastic just to be sort of on the peripheries and, like you say, strong friendship, and just seeing how quickly 15 years is a long time when you look back, but really the speed that you've grown and where you've come from is just an unbelievable story, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been quite a journey, really.
Yeah.
Did you have a favourite product?
I mean, they're all good, aren't they? I mean, I'm looking at these. These are new. But, I like the chili con carne with the cheese pie on top. Yeah, the cheeseburger pie that that you designed for us at the baseball. I don't think anywhere in the UK, I don't even think in the US, they thought about putting a cheeseburger inside of a pie. But
Challenge.
that was a really good product. But yeah, the chili con carne with cheese. But yeah, the staples are good, aren't they? The steak.
Yeah.
I always go for the steak. My son always has the gammon when we go to Brighton games. But yeah, they're all good, aren't they? And the sausage rolls, you can just fill up my freezer with sausage rolls if you want. I'll eat those all day long. Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. Good. And I guess favourite memory along the last 15 years?
Oh, favourite memory. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the opening of the Amex, being a Brighton fan, and working with yourselves as a local business, and sort of taking that moment to stand back at just after kick-off. I think the club handed out all those flags, didn't they? And just looking back and seeing people with Piglets pies in their hands, Harvey's beer, and thinking, wow, this is something to be special of. That's a good memory. I think the afternoon teas, seeing them going out to 8,000-10,000 people. But yeah, definitely, I'd say the opening of the Amex is probably up there with, and yeah, there's so many, isn't there? So you can go back, and you're involved in tons and tons of sports stadiums. You must have seen tons over the years.
Yeah. Probably one of my favourite memories.
Yeah.
Kind of goosebumps from the opening, watch everyone crying, and just being part of that magic really was quite special. Obviously because it was beginning for us as well, but there's been so many along the way, sort of, going to the different venues and seeing people enjoying the products. I think for me, I'll never get bored of that, really.
Yeah.
Just put smiles on people's faces.
And well, what you've done with the brand and stuff, like, it's noticeable now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you can, even when, like, watching on TV, people with the pink bags. It's an amazing story. Really good.
It's been a good journey.
So many baseball. Seeing we had people speed eating those 3 foot long. I think the record for that was, I don't know, I think he done it in about 2.5 minutes, 15,000 calories. But loads of memories.
I think your family getting involved as well, probably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my wife's been working for you for maybe as long as Piglets has been going, and it's family business, and it's, to be part of it's just been really, really enjoyable, and seeing it grow, and super proud of everything you've achieved, really.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
For your support along the way.
No, all good.